All the activity along Superior's North Shore isn't centered only in the newest developments. The twin lakehead cities of Port William and Port Arthur, long established and always energetic, continue to play their vigorous role. Center for manufacturing and natural resources, the cities also serve as junction point for land and water carriers between east and west. Ships of the Great Lakes White Fleet have Port William as their northern terminus and join forces with transcontinental trains to give passengers the option of a combination rail and water journey across Canada. Less than half a day out of the lakehead, the Canadian rolls smoothly into the largest privately owned railway yards in the world. Winnipeg, spacious capital of the province of Manitoba, gateway to the west, and leaves in the dusk of early evening, ready for a fast, smooth run across the prairies. First morning light finds the stainless steel streamliner deep into the unobstructed straightaway across the prairie grainlands, through golden Saskatchewan wheat fields. Mile after mile, the generous granary of half a continent stretches out on both sides. Periodically, elevators, unmistakable symbols of rich grain country, loom up like monster mileposts. The far horizon is the only limit to the sunny vista. It's hard to believe that a few short hours will see the shining train threading its way through mountain-shaded valleys. But already, gently rolling grazing land is replacing the prairie's golden levels, and the old west, new west liveliness of Calgary makes you welcome. Everything else takes second place when stampede fever gets a grip on Calgary. From the city's cowtown origins and its remembered links with the Old West of red-coated Mounties and brightly clad Indians, there stems a flavor of rich excitement that's hard to match anywhere on Earth. Beyond Calgary, the tumbling waters of the Bow River and the green Alberta foothills show more promise of the shining mountains that lie ahead. It's a familiar path for the Canadian, but for passengers, the approach to the Rockies is a time of high anticipation. Experienced travelers know the wondrous beauties that are to come. First-timers watch with undisguised excitement for the earliest sight of the storied peaks and deep cleft valleys. Will it be, can it be, as thrilling a spectacle as people say? The answer is not long in coming, and for every adventurer with an eye for beauty, it is a resounding yes. Glistening waters of clear mountain lakes vie for attention with such famous rock formations as the Three Sisters. This is park country, game reserve. The sharp-eyed watcher from the scenic dome has only the sky for a limit to the wonders of nature he will see. Bands of elk roam these woods, and clambering bear cubs call this rocky forest land their playground. And now, with bewildering change of pace, the fabulous mountain-locked resort town of Banff adds new beauty to the scene. Here, indeed, is one for the record: a baronial castle, a luxurious hotel set in a wilderness frame. In a lavishly landscaped fragment of the mountain country's rugged vastness, renowned Banff Springs Hotel extends its offer, its promise of the finest kind of holiday enjoyment to be found. Nothing has been overlooked, just as in the Canadian, in an all-out effort to provide the best. Nature has made the setting with generous hands. At Banff, and in the mountains that enclose its beauty, with more beauty still, there is an answer for those who want to find the perfect place for restful relaxation. The spell is cast for anyone who passes through. Come again, the magic mountains seem to say. You must and will come back again. Deep in the rocky fastness of the shining mountains, every scenic dome seat holds an enthralled sightseer. Impressive Mount Eisenhower in the distance beckons from among surrounding craggy peaks. And now, a new player comes on the scene as the eastbound Canadian flashes by. Many complete units of the famous train are needed to keep up the speedy, everyday, each-way service. Off again, alone once more in the silent shadows of the high ranges, the Canadian draws closer to the heart of the Canadian Rockies. Every minute brings a new change of scenery, an unending series of breathtakingly beautiful backdrops on nature's limitless stage. As though the spectacular mountains were not enough, such splendors as renowned Lake Louise and its equally famous chateau emerge from behind rocky walls. Tailored lawns and brilliant flowers match their fragile beauty against the rugged, jutting peaks that form their borders and make a restful garden spot, secluded, peaceful. From Lake Louise to Field, less than an hour's run, the Canadian's path is an amazing concentration of spectacle and excitement. It is here, near the highest point on the line, a full mile above sea level, that the gleaming streamliner glides gracefully through the long S-curve that is the unforgettable, almost unbelievable setting for pictures of the train that all the world has seen. Dome riders can understand the big train's preening moment, share its mood. Immediately, a new drama unfolds. This is the Big Hill. No other identification is necessary for railroad fans. The Canadian runs down to the two spiral tunnels that drop its track more than 100 feet in less than a mile, through the hearts of massive mountains. Between the two tunnels, each of them affording an almost complete reversal of direction, the track crosses the violent Kicking Horse River. Gliding out of the second tunnel, the train crosses the Kicking Horse again, then gathers speed for the fast run through Yoho National Park into Field, British Columbia. The Canadian stops at the divisional point at Field in daylight. Darkness falls, casting its blanket over the last of the big peaks to be seen before morning brings the Pacific coast within reach. First light finds the train speeding down the canyon of the Fraser and its broad, fertile valleys into Vancouver. Here, almost 3,000 miles from her starting place, the width of a continent behind her, the Canadian reaches journey's end. Canada's West Coast metropolis has many parts to play. Gateway to the Orient, South America, and the South Pacific. The city is the Western Canadian Pacific focal point for its land, sea, and air services. It is, as well, a city of beautiful homes, happily set between mountains and the sea. Broad beaches beckon through long, warm seasons to home folks and visitors alike. And always the vast Pacific with its challenging reaches toward the setting sun. Daily, that challenge is picked up by Canadian Pacific Empresses of the Air, serving Canada and linking 5 continents. By princesses of its British Columbia Coast Fleet, serving the Evergreen Playground and Alaska. And daily, too, the wide-flung continent to the east is linked and linked again with the West Coast Gateway by the Canadian, across the twin steel threads that weave the Canadian pattern between Atlantic and Pacific tides.